Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to film another story time video, and today's story has to do with the first time I ever experienced using a tampon. Now, if you have never used a tampon before and you are here for maybe some advice, I can promise you that this story is going to save you from a severe panic attack. So when I was about 14 years old, I had enrolled in like a subscription where they would send you samples through the mail of like pads and different types of tampons so that you can try a variety of different things to see which ones you like. They started sending me items here and there. Now I had already gotten my period the summer I turned 13. So I was about a year into having my menstrual cycle. However, I was only using pads at that time. And so, you know, they would send samples of tampons and my mom would actually take those and hide those. She didn't want me using any tampons. But one day I had gotten the mail before she did, and they had a little tampon box just like this, a little bit smaller. It only had like a sample of 2 of them in there. And so since nobody was there, I took it and I ran up to my room, and when I had opened it, I opened the first one just to look at it, to see what it was, and I was like, let me try this. So this next part is probably a little TMI, but it's story time, right? So I had laid back on my bed and I had inserted this inside of me, and I naturally pushed this part up, allowing the cotton to go inside of me. And now I'm left with just the top portion, so I think. So when I take this out of my vagina, I am looking at it, panicking, because I think that the bottom part got inserted inside of me along with the cotton, because I had no idea at that time that the bottom part that gets pushed up stays inside of the top applicator. It just allows the cotton to come out. So I am panicking for at least a good 15 seconds. Finally, after sweating bullets, I look at the tampon applicator again and I see, thank the Lord heaven, that the bottom applicator was only inserted into the top and I don't need to worry about a thing. I got away with it. And the moral of this story is never go behind your mother's back. She always knows what's best, am I right? So I am so sorry, Mom. So aside from my story, if you are a first-time tampon user, I would like to give you some advice and some tips on how to properly use a tampon. I tend to not use tampons as much these days. I actually use pads more often. Unless I am going out, then I will use a tampon. Tampons can cause TSS, which is toxic shock syndrome, and although they say it's rare, it can cause death, and so I'm just a little bit more cautious with the way I treat my body these days. So, but if you are a first-time tampon user, I will give you a few tips right now. I do suggest you getting the box that is a variety pack, which comes with light, regular, and super. So that way when you are on your lighter flow days, you would use the lighter tampon. And then on a medium flow day, you would use a regular tampon. And then on your heavier days, you would use a super tampon. So how to insert. First and foremost, you are going to want to wash your hands because you want to make sure that you are not carrying any type of germs or bacteria into your genital area. So once you have washed your hands, you want to remove the tampon from the plastic. Next, you're going to want to find a comfortable position for inserting the applicator inside of you. So either you can sit down doing this or put one foot up on the toilet bowl, or you can stand up. For me, what's most comfortable is kind of like doing a little squat over the toilet bowl. Put the applicator tip into the opening of your vagina and gently glide it towards the lower back. You're going to keep easing the application in until you've inserted it as far as the ring of the outer insertion tube. Continue holding the applicator and then push the inner tube into the outer tube. When the ring of the applicators are together, the tampon is in correctly. Gently remove both tubes, making sure that the string is outside of your body. Now, once your tampon is inserted, do not flush this plastic applicator or else your mother and father are going to have to call the plumber. This, just wrap in a piece of toilet paper and throw it in the trash, or you can insert it inside of the plastic that it came with and roll it up and also roll it into a piece of toilet paper and throw it in the trash can. So when removing your tampon, you're going to want to gently pull on the string right here until the tampon is completely removed. You can wrap this part also in toilet paper and then just throw it in the trash. I wouldn't recommend flushing it down the toilet because when this hits the water, it expands, and so I wouldn't want it to clog the toilet bowl, God forbid. So another thing is that you are going to want to make sure that you change your tampon every 4 to 8 hours, and make sure that you remove the old tampon before inserting the new. So there are several different types of tampons. I have 2 of them right here. Now this one is a cardboard applicator, and as you can see, the cotton is sticking out of the top of it. Whereas this one is a plastic applicator, and as you can see, the whole cotton is encased in the applicator. Now I have found that this one is a lot easier to use since it is covering all of the cotton. It has a smoother surface when inserting it inside of you, whereas this one, you are starting off with inserting it with a dry piece of cotton, and it tends to not want to go in as easy as this one, which has the applicator covering the whole cotton. So yes, I would recommend using an applicator that is actually covering all of the cotton. So that is it, you guys. Aside from my story, I hope that I was able to give you some kind of advice and tips if you are a first-time tampon user. If there are any questions that you would like to know, feel free to ask them in the comment box below, and I will answer them to the best of my knowledge. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If so, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!